A big event happening here down at the Villa Marina in the Colonnade area. Culture Vannin is what it's all about, and that's a new name to me. Charles Guard's with us, which was, of course...
The Manx Heritage Foundation has been for many, many years, but in this year of culture, the Island of Culture, we've decided to change our name and take more of a cultural role. So we are now Culture Vannin.
Okay, is it just a name change or is there more to it than that?
Well, we've been evolving enormously over recent years. We do an awful lot of cultural work throughout the schools and in the island in general, and we felt that the word heritage is perhaps not appropriate for us now in the 21st century, and that the culture was more what we're involved in. So it's been something we've been thinking about for some time, and this seemed to be the right time to go ahead.
I mean, culture this year, that everyone's talking about being the island of culture, has that put more pressure on you and producing more things to go on?
It's not pressure, it's opportunity, I think. We've published, you can see behind us here, a vast number of books, films, DVDs, commissioning original compositions from local composers, providing enormous numbers of resources for schools, and supporting folk groups, railways, you know, the heritage societies around the island. Our fingers are everywhere, and we just continue doing that, and this year is an even better opportunity for doing that.
And remind me, how long have you been doing this? Because I remember you doing videos from, when I was a child almost.
Yeah, yes. Well, I'm a lot older than you, Paul, I think. 1982, the Heritage Foundation was started. I was still at Manx Radio in those days, as you were, of course, and I joined as a member in the late 80s, and then when I left Manx Radio, I eventually took over the role as administrator.
I mean, some of these videos you've done, even yourself, you must go, wow, things have changed so much in just those few years.
Absolutely. When I look back, even on the Curiosities, which is 10 years ago, a lot of that stuff vanished. And that's another thing that we do, amongst all the other things, is to take archive footage for posterity and archive photographs, very much like what you do here on Manx Telecom. I mean, if we look back on that in 50 years' time, it's going to be an absolutely vital archive, because nobody else is doing it systematically.
Mm-hmm. So, is the future secure? Because I'm sure your budgets have been hit like everybody else's, haven't they?
Well, as you know, the budget is coming up in a few weeks in Tynwald. Fingers crossed, everybody's being cut. I hope, our budget is relatively modest. We still don't know what's happening to the Arts Council exactly, because you know the DCCL is now vanishing and everybody's being moved around. There's a lot of uncertainty, I must say, but we just hope that government, with all its cuts, can still find the money to fund art, because it's so important. Our culture is so important. A sport gets an awful lot, but actually we're all involved in culture all the time. Anyone who reads a book or a newspaper or goes to the cinema or the theatre, that's culture, and we need to support it.
So you've got Phil Gorn, is it now, banging the drum for you?
We have indeed. Phil is our chairman, and it's very handy having a minister as chairman, because of course he is in the Council of Ministers, and he has to take his line in the queue for money like everybody else, I suppose, but it's important to have a senior voice in Tynwald.
So this is it, the beginning of a brand new era. You staying with it?
I'm staying with it. I'm standing down as the administrator, because I've done that for very many years. I'm going to concentrate on the bit I love, and I'm very grateful that the members of the foundation supported that idea, because, you know, I'm 63, I'll be coming up to total retirement shortly. So for the next 2 years, I'm going to concentrate on just making the videos, doing the oral history interviews, producing the books, and the cultural aspect of things.